My girlfriend texted. I'm moving out to focus on myself. Keep the ring, I don't deserve it. I replied. Smart decision. Then I sold the $12,000 engagement ring and used the money for a guy's trip to Vegas. 48 hours later, she was sobbing at my door, realizing I'd taken her seriously. My girlfriend sent me a text that simply said, I'm moving out. I need time to focus on myself. Keep the ring, I don't deserve it. I stared at the screen for a second, then replied, Smart choice. And that was it. I turned around and sold the $12,000 engagement ring, then used the cash to book a guy's trip to Vegas. 2 days later, she was standing on my doorstep in tears, realizing I hadn't taken her message as some vague emotional outburst. I'd taken it literally. I'm Jake, 34, and I'm still trying to wrap my head around everything that's happened. But honestly, I feel surprisingly calm about the whole thing. It all started yesterday around 2 in the afternoon. I was finishing up some work from home when my phone buzzed. I glanced down and saw it was a message from Lena, my girlfriend of 4 years, the woman I proposed to 6 months ago. The message read, Jake, I need space to rediscover myself as an artist. I'm moving out to focus on my creative path. Keep the ring. I don't deserve it. I've sacrificed too much of my own identity in this relationship. I read that message once. Then again. Then a third time, just to be sure I wasn't missing anything. We'd been together 4 years. She'd been living in my place for the last 2. That ring? Set me back 12 grand. The wedding? Already deep into planning mode, we'd made deposits on venues and vendors. And yet, in that moment, I didn't feel panic or rage. Just this eerie kind of emotional stillness, like the fog had finally lifted. For months she'd been going on about artistic growth, and had started spending all her time with this artsy group downtown, the kind that thinks wine and vague poetry count as productivity. She kept coming home later and later after those so-called creative sessions and gallery nights. I'd started finding receipts for fancy art supplies, stuff I knew she couldn't afford on a part-time marketing assistant's paycheck. I knew exactly what this was. And my response? Smart decision. Then I blocked her number. My next move was straightforward. I called my jeweler. Tony, hey, it's Jake. Remember that engagement ring I bought a few months back? The 2-carat princess cut? You think you could buy it back? There was a pause. Everything all right, man? Wedding's off, I said. She decided to chase her art instead. He sighed. Damn. Well, yeah, I can take it back. Given the market right now and the stone quality, I could offer you about $9,800. You paid $12,000, remember? That works. Can you swing by today? No problem. Sorry you're going through this. 2 hours later, Tony showed up at my door. I handed him the ring. He handed me a certified check for $9,800. Deal done. By 6 p.m., I had a group text going with my 3 closest college buddies. Vegas this weekend. Who's in? Within the hour, everyone was confirmed. Flights booked. Suite reserved at a nice hotel just off the strip. The ring money easily covered airfare, hotel, food, and 3 days of much-needed distraction for the 4 of us. Meanwhile, Lena's stuff was still all over my house, her easel in the spare room, half-finished canvases leaning against walls, and art supplies clogging up half my garage. I didn't touch any of it. Figured she could handle her own moving logistics. Now here I am, sitting at the airport waiting to board. Haven't heard a single word from her since that message. Total silence. Guess she's out there finding herself through oil paints and indie film screenings. Update number 1. 1 week later. Just got back from Vegas. I really appreciate all the messages and support. Good to know I'm not crazy for just taking her at her word. The trip was exactly what I needed. 4 guys. 0 drama. Just laughs, cards, good food, and no one talking about their inner journey. We hit the casinos, saw a killer show, and ate like kings. That ring money covered everything with about $2 grand to spare. Honestly, I didn't even think about Lena until I walked into my house Sunday night. Then Monday rolls around. About 10 a.m., I hear loud knocking at my front door. I peek through the window, and there she is, Lena, standing there with 2 suitcases, looking like she hadn't slept in days. Her hair was a mess, clothes wrinkled, eyes puffy. I opened the door. "Jake!" She let out a breath like she'd been holding it for hours. "Thank God. My key doesn't work. I changed the locks," I told her. Her face dropped. "Wait, what? Why would you do that? You said you were moving out," I reminded her. "In your text? I didn't mean for good," she said. "I just needed a few days to clear my head." I leaned against the doorframe, arms crossed. "Where have you been staying?" She looked off to the side. "With some people from the art collective." "What people?" I asked. She hesitated. "Does it really matter? I'm here now. I want to fix this." "No, it actually does matter." "Whose couch were you sleeping on?" Long pause. "Grant's," she finally said. "He let me stay at his studio while I figured things out." Grant. The guy who runs the art collective. Married. Mid-40s. Always seemed a little too invested in Lena's development as an artist. "How'd that go?" "His wife came home early from a trip," she said. "There was a misunderstanding." "A misunderstanding? It's not what you think. We were just talking about art and technique." She overreacted. "Right. Art and technique at 2 in the morning. In his studio." "Don't be crude," she snapped. "I came back because I realized I made a mistake. I love you, Jake. We can get through this." She looked down at her hand. "Where's the ring?" "You told me to keep it," I said. "I figured you meant it was mine now. So I sold it." Her face went pale. "You sold it? You said you didn't deserve it." I agreed. "Got $9,800 for it. Paid for a hell of a weekend in Vegas." And that's when she broke down. Full-on sobbing, mascara running, dramatic meltdown. "Please, Jake. We can buy another ring. I'll get a real job. I'll pay you back." I just stared at her. "With what? You quit your marketing job 2 months ago to chase this art dream full-time. I'll figure it out. Just, please. I need to get my stuff." "Your things are still here," I said. "You can come get your stuff this weekend," I told her. "Bring a truck." She blinked. "Can I just move back in?" "I mean, we were engaged. We're being the important word here," I said. "You ended that with a text, remember?" Then I closed the door, walked back to the kitchen, and finished my coffee like it was any other morning. She kept pounding on the door for 10 straight minutes before finally giving up. That was Monday. It's Friday now, and honestly, watching this whole thing unravel has been a strange mix of awkward and weirdly satisfying. Update number 2, 3 weeks later. These past few weeks have been a masterclass in escalating desperation. First came the family angle, classic move. Lena's mom, Linda, gave me a call the Wednesday after the door incident. "Jake, I'm deeply concerned," she said, voice full of righteous indignation. "Lena told me you kicked her out and sold the engagement ring to get back at her." "Linda," I said, keeping my tone calm, "your daughter texted me, literally texted, saying she was moving out to pursue her art. I respected that decision. And that ring was legally mine until the marriage. She walked away from that deal. But she's been staying in cheap motels," Linda said, her tone shifting. "She has nowhere else to go." "That's unfortunate," I replied. "But she created that situation when she decided to shack up with Grant." Dead silence. "What do you mean, Grant?" Apparently, Lena had left that little detail out of her pity party. I kept my voice steady. "Maybe ask your daughter where she's actually been staying. And why Grant's wife kicked her out." Click. Linda hung up. The pickup went down that Saturday, exactly as planned. Lena showed up with her sister Chloe and a U-Haul. I'd spent 3 hours Friday night boxing everything up, wanted it done clean and no nonsense. All of it's right here, I said when they arrived. Easel, canvases, paint, brushes, clothes, books, every last art-related item. Chloe was glaring at me like I'd just burned down a church. Lena kept trying to strike up conversations. Jake, that sunset painting, I made it for us. Can I leave it here? Nope, I said flatly. It's yours. Take it with you. What about the coffee maker? She asked. We bought that together. I've got the receipt, I told her. It went on my card. It stays. That's how the next 2 hours went. Every shared object turned into a negotiation. Lucky for me, I had receipts or card statements for most of the major stuff. Whatever I couldn't prove, I let her take just to get it over with. Once they were finally packed up and ready to drive off, Lena made one last desperate appeal. Jake, she said, voice trembling. I know I hurt you, but 4 years meant something. Can't we at least be friends? I looked her dead in the eye. Friends don't ghost each other over text to go live with married art teachers. Chloe chimed in, trying to soften it. She made a mistake. People make mistakes. Yeah, I said. And people also deal with the fallout of those mistakes. Then I turned and walked back inside. I watched through the window as they drove away. That night, I changed the locks again, just in case. A few days later, I heard from a mutual friend that Grant's wife had officially filed for divorce. Apparently, Lena wasn't his first mentee. She was just the latest name in a long list of younger women he guided through their creative blockages. Final update, 2 months later. Figured I'd give this story a proper wrap-up. It's been about 10 weeks since Lena's I need space to find myself as an artist text, and ever since she picked up her stuff, the drama completely died off. No more calls. No angry texts. No legal letters. No more mom calls. I think the reality finally caught up with her, especially when she had to figure out where to put all that art gear and how to pay for the storage. Our mutual friend Megan filled me in on what happened next. Lena burned through her savings in 3 weeks flat, between motels and storage unit fees. She ended up moving back in with her mom, 2 hours away from here. As for Grant, his divorce went through quickly. Turns out his wife had been documenting his behavior for months, collecting receipts, messages, witness statements, everything. Lena was the final straw, not the only one. After the news broke, a bunch of other women came forward with their own stories. The art collective? Shut down. Grant skipped town. Word is, he was behind on rent and using member dues to fund his lifestyle. Lena tried to get her old marketing job back, but they'd already filled her spot. Last I heard, she's working retail and living in her childhood bedroom, complaining to anyone who'll listen that men are trash and the art world betrayed her. Still doesn't seem to realize she's the common denominator in all her problems. As for me, I'm doing better than ever. Used the leftover ring money to finally buy that motorcycle I'd been eyeing for years. Joined a riding group, made some solid new friends. The rides clear my head in a way I didn't realize I needed. About a month ago, I started seeing someone new, Rachel, 31. She's got her own career, her own place, and zero interest in drama or finding herself in someone else's studio at 2 a.m. It's refreshing. Peaceful. The kind of partnership I always wanted. The house feels like mine again. Clean. Quiet. No easels taking up half the living room. No paint tubes in the sink. No late-night gallery openings, or cryptic conversations about expression through brushstrokes. Lena wanted space to become an artist. Turns out, she wasn't one. Grant wanted a young muse to stroke his ego. He lost his wife and his business. His wife wanted evidence. She got plenty. I wanted someone I could trust. Now I've got that. Sometimes the best revenge isn't yelling or fighting, it's just stepping back and letting people live with the choices they made. The trash took itself out. I just made sure it didn't blow back in.